Vanakkam. In the last session, we discussed important parameters in Basic Data 1 and Basic Data 2 views. We created Material Master with those two views. In this session, we will discuss important parameters in the purchasing view like purchase unit of measurement, purchasing group, automatic purchase order key, purchase value key, plan specific status, etc. Also, we will create purchasing view for the materials related to our business case. Before going into the session, let us see the answers for previous session. So what is the number of characters used in the material description? So number of characters for material description is 40. If we need to add more details about material description, which field is used? So basic data text in the additional data tab can be used to add further description. What is material group? Material group is grouping of several materials or services with the same attributes. The group name, what is there, you can define the group name and we can update this in the material master. This is used as one of the selection parameters in various reports to restrict the report results to the specific group. Can we define different unit of measurement for a material? Yes, it can be done through the additional data tab. Can we define the description of a material in different languages? Yes, it can be done through additional data tab. Where do we maintain a material's weight and dimension details? These details are maintained in Basic Data 1 view. Can we add documents about a material? Yes, we can add the materials in the additional data tab. If one metal has become slow moving or obsolete, how can we control it through Metal Master? By updating the cross metal status, explain status in Basic Data 1 view. Please note, this is updated in basic data, which means this status will affect all the plans and company codes in the organization. So before setting the status in the basic view, we need to be very careful. If we want to restrict the status with respect to plant, then we have to update the status with respect to plant. That we will discuss later. We continue the discussion with the purchasing view of Metal Master. Once a department has created data for material, a Metal Master record is created for it in the database. If someone from other department wants to enter data, then the user has to extend or add the information relevant to the department. We have created basic views of the materials of our business case. Next, we will extend the purchasing view. Basic data views are organizationally independent. So we have not entered any organization details while creating the materials for basic view. But when we extend the material record to organizational dependent views, then we need to enter the organizational details. The purchasing view is a plant specific view. So when you are creating this purchasing view, we need to enter the plant. That is, this view is plant specific view. Now we are going to discuss about the purchasing view. A purchasing view is a plant dependent view. So whenever we try to create or change or display the purchasing view for a specific plant, we need to give the plant number. Then only we can enter the plant specific details, or we can get the details of the plant specific details. Please note that here the basic details of material like a metal code or metal description, basic unit of measurement, material group, they are all carried over from the basic view. We already defined them in the basic data 1 and basic data 2 views. So we don't need to enter them here again. They will be automatically populated from basic data views. We discussed these attributes in our session on basic data views. And for remaining parameters specific to the plant, we have to maintain in this field, in this purchasing view. All right. So let us start with the order unit. So what is order unit? Order unit is the unit of measurement in which purchase order will be placed. Please note, in basic view, only basic unit of measurement was defined. While purchasing, supplier may ask for different unit of measurement. For example, if you take oil, the basic unit of measurement may be in liters. But when we place the order to the supplier, he may need them in kilograms or in drums At the time we can have this unit of measurement used here. And how to give the link between liters and these different BUM like kilogram or drums. As we discussed, this will be maintained in the different unit of measurements in the additional data options. If this field is blank, just as we seen in the screen, if it is blank, system will take basic unit of measurement as the order unit. And then purchasing group. Purchasing group is a person or group of personnel responsible for procurement of the specific material what we are seeing here. Purchasing group is responsible for the procurement of material, follow-up of the material, and until it is getting received into the organization. Of course, they should also take care of the inventory of the materials. In many organizations, this is missing. If they purchase it, just they leave it. But they should also take care of the inventory of those kind of materials so that a collective responsibility will be there. Externally, it is the medium through which the contacts with the vendor are maintained. In purchase order, contact details of the purchasing group will be printed. So supplier access the buyer easily. So we are providing the details of the purchasing group, like a phone number or fax number, those things can be shared there. So it will be printed in the purchase order. So any suppliers, the contact point with the supplier, they will be able to identify who released the order, they can keep in touch with them. Purchasing group may be either created as individual names or based on category of materials or group of materials. So different practices followed by different organizations based on their business organization structure and also the nature of the business. And the purchasing group is used as an important selection parameter to restrict the output related to in many reports. For example, inventory report we can take with respect to purchasing group, or we can take the purchase order details or purchase requisition details or goods receipt details. All these things we can take with respect to purchasing group. So they can see the details specific to them. They don't need to see all the details, then filter them, and other things can be avoided by using this group. So this definition of a purchasing group has to be done carefully so that it will be used effectively when the operation is carried out. And then plant specific metal status. This is status of the metal specific to the plant. In basic view, we discussed about cross plant status, which was the status applicable to all the materials across the company code, all the plants. But here what we define is specific to this particular plant. So whenever the metal is used or when the status is updated here, like a slow moving or obsolete or a non-moving item or some other status, that status will be applicable only for this plant. As we discussed in basic view, depending on the status, we can restrict the transactions of this particular metal based on the status. Like if you don't want to create purchase order, or we don't need to have the goods receipt, or we need to restrict this metal has to be issued to the production. All these things can be restricted. And what we do here based on the status is applicable to this plant only. It will not affect the other plant. So plant specific details can be obtained through this field in this view. And then valid from is this particular status is valid from which date, that can be updated here, because any decision we are taking may not be applicable to immediately also, because we have to wait for the metal to be stocked, has to be depleted, or some changeover has to happen, or a technical drawing design has to change. It depends on various things, the status may change. So we have option to enter the what is the date from which the status is applicable. Next is the automatic PO. So automatic PO is when we use this field, the purchase requisitions which are appearing into the system, they can be collected as a group. So the buyers don't need to convert each purchase requisition individually, especially when they are using the ME59N as a transaction code to convert the purchase requisitions. They can use that particular field automatic PO when it is enabled. They can select a group of vendors, a group of materials. All these things they can be selected, and they can release the purchase requisition in mass. So it is saving a lot of time. To be honest, this field is not known by many people who are operating SAP, right? At the same time, it is better to avoid using this field for the class A materials, because the class A materials purchase orders have to be reviewed individually, and they have to be taken care before releasing the purchase orders. So it is to be used restrictively for A class, but B and C class items you can use them freely. Then purchasing value key, this is one important point, which is again a lot of underutilized field in many organizations. With this, a lot of controls can be done from purchasing point of view. This purchasing value key defines the tolerate limits and also the shipping instructions and whether we need the acknowledgement requirement or not. For example, there are remainder keys where it is used to send the remainder to buyer or supplier after or before the due date. And also we can define the tolerance limits, I mean under tolerance, over tolerance. For example, we want to allow something that okay, 5% excess of purchase order quantity can be received, can be defined here. Or if there is some high value item that even 0% is not allowed, I mean nothing can be allowed as excess, we can define as 0%. Or we can give us the unlimited over delivery also, I mean anything we can receive against purchase order, right? But which is not at all advisable to enter here, but there is option, right? And order acknowledgement required for PO can be triggered here through this purchasing value key. So the remainders are the number of days in which a remainder has to be sent. If the numbers are entered in positive number, then remainders are sent in the number of days after the due date. If the numbers are entered in negative, these numbers are entered days before the due date. So we can set first remainder, second remainder, third remainder, etc. And these things maintained in purchase info record. But if they are not maintained, then system will pick the details from metal master. So you see, for with respect to purchasing, like delivery time or GR processing time or these kind of remainder things, the system will always give preference to the data which is available in purchasing info record. If it is not available there only, it will come to the metal master. Then GRIR control is that over delivery, under delivery tolerance as defined here. Unlimited over delivery allows accept of anything, but again, it is not suggested to have this unlimited delivery. So it has to be defined very carefully, and people should take care when they are defining the metal master accordingly. And then GR processing time, goods receipt processing time. This is number of defined in number of working days. It is not calendar days. So there is a difference. Calendar days means all 7 days will be applicable. There are some companies which will be working only 5 days or 6 days only. At that time, working days will be defined as 5 or 6. Those days only will be taken here for GR processing. They will not take all the 7 days per week. So this is very important because this is playing a key role in defining the scheduling of materials from MRP. And also the GR processing time is actually non-value added time. So there should be a lot of efforts to reduce the GR processing time. So it involves receiving the material, unloading the material, doing the quality inspection. All these things are involved in the GR processing time. Then post inspection stock. If a metal is subjected to be inspected, then this field has to be used. If this field is triggered, metal will be received with the quality inspection stock. Until the metal is in the quality inspection stock, it cannot be used for any other purpose. So the metal has to be moved from post the inspection stock to the unrestricted stock. This can be done in two ways. One is manually or through inspection lots. But one of these ways, metal has to be moved from quality inspection to unrestricted stock. Then only it is available. Otherwise, it will not be available. I mean, after moving to unrestricted only, it is available for further usage in the inventory and also the further usage in the processes. And then there is a field called critical part. This is to mark that metal is critical, and this is not activating any function. This is used in the inventory counting just as an indicator, not for any other functioning purpose. Source list is to mandate the creation of source list for the external procurement. If this indicator has been set in the plant, the source list must be entered here. This is good practice. It is a good practice to enter this source list as a mandatory because we can then trigger the system to select the right supplier or the approved supplier or who is the routine preferred supplier, even if the metal is having 2 or 3 suppliers defined in the source list. So it is better to define the source list here. And then manufacturer part number, it is to define the manufacturing code used by the supplier because the metal code used by us and metal code used by supplier need not be same. It may be different between us, right? So at that time, to mention what is the manufacturer part numbers, we can use this field. So with this, we are completing the purchasing view. Next, we will discuss the purchase order text view. The purchase order text is a text describing the material in more detail. This text is subsequently copied to the purchasing documents like purchase requisitions or purchase orders automatically, where we can change it if necessary. This is valid for all organization levels. It is not specific to a plant. So here, example is written here, but this is just to show us an example. But here it may be covering like the technical specifications or some specific inspection instructions or some of the delivery parameters. Those things may be mentioned here according to the requirement of the organization. Just to have some clarification here, there are some different terms we hear, right? Metal master creation, metal master extension, metal master change. Let us see what are the differences here. Metal master creation means when there is no material exists, then we have to create the new material. But a metal is existing, but you have to go for new view if you want to create. For example, purchasing view. That is also like creating the view. So this has to be done through transaction called MM01. Right? If you want to create a new material, MM01, but there is no view, we want to create a new view, that is through this. Again, that is also new view creation. That is also MM01. Extension means there is a metal in one plant which I want to extend it to another plant. Right? There is a plant like 1700. I want to extend the metal to 1710 another plant. Then I want to use this extension. I will use, but that is also done through transaction called MM01. Then change is I have a metal already there, but I want to change some parameters. For example, procurement type is not there. Plant lead time I have to correct, or MRP controller I have to change. These things I have to do with transaction called MM02. So please understand these differences. What is creation, what is extension, what is change. The last session we discussed and created basic views. So we selected only basic 1 and basic 2 views and we set them as a default. Since they were basic views applicable across the client, we did not select any organization because these are organization independent. Now we are going to create the purchasing related parameters by extending the purchasing view and the purchase order text view. So let us select those additional views, that is the purchasing view and the purchasing text view, in addition to the basic 1 and basic data 2 views. Now we have to set them as a default. Since these two views are plant specific details, so we have to enter the plant. In our case, we are entering the plant 1710. Also, we make it as a default settings. So due to this, while creating further materials, right, extending further other materials with this purchasing view or purchase order text views, we don't need to select those views again and again. Also, we don't need to enter the plant again and again. System will take care of it. So this is the main advantage of making the views and organization levels as default. Now let us see how to create a metal masters purchasing view. As we discussed, the transaction code is MM01. So we go inside. So I am selecting the material SGMC S002 CP1001. So you don't need to create this purchasing view. That S002, you don't need to create purchasing view. I am checking industry sector and material type. All are okay. Right now, the only basic 1 and 2 are there. So I go and select the purchasing view and the purchase order text views. Now I'm going to save them as a default. All right. So in the right bottom when I go, I can save them as a default. Now these will be saved as default, like a basic 1, basic 2, purchasing and purchase order text. I press enter or put the tick mark. Now this plant is what? It is 1710. This is a plant specific. So this also I want to be default. So I come to the default settings. I make this as default. This means from next time onwards, whenever I extend the metal for this purchasing or plant, I don't need to enter them again and again. So here I go and update the details, like the basic description is copied from the basic view, the cover one S002, right? That is covered here. And the order unit, that is the purchase order unit that we discussed. It is the purchase order unit of measure. The explanation here, I pressed F1 so I can see the details. Please take note, if the field is not having any detail, system will take the basic unit of measure as the purchase order unit. Because we kept it as blank, system will take the piece as the purchase order unit. Purchasing group, we have 4 groups. We are going to use the 001 as the purchasing group. And then we go and enter what is the unit of measure and the metal group copied from basic views. and then metal status we are using 03, which is use, which is a normal. Okay, I mean for this case, then we go and enter the purchase value key. So you have various options. I select the purchase value key 1, I enter, and then if I enter it, system will, well, I am checking it, what is that purchase value key. So it is giving some detail. Please go through them slowly. Maybe you can pause the screen and go through these details. Okay, every time, no, when you go to the initially, put F1 and read through the details. See here, the first reminder, second reminder, all these details are here empty, but because I have not pressed enter now, if I press enter, the all values related to 1 will come here. Then GR processing time, 1 day I am entering here. Please take note, GR processing time is working days. It is not a calendar day, right? I will explain what is working day, what is calendar day later. Earlier I explained theoretically. I will explain with some examples also. Okay. Now after entering this, I press enter. So now system will give a see, when I selected purchase order text, system is giving a message. Check the data for purchase value key. See, now it is yellow only, which means it is warning. Now I come to the purchase order text. Here I have to type what are all the details I need. For example, here I am just typing, for example, deliver the material as per delivery date, etc. But normally for business requirement, they will type some technical specification. What is the drawing to be followed? What is the inspection to be followed? Those kind of details will be entered in the practical situation. Okay. Here, just for our understanding, I'm typing it. So what we can type it, I am doing it. Okay. And once we maintain this in metal master here, what we told, it will be copied to the purchase order, purchase request, so we don't need to type them again and again. If needed, we can go and update in the purchase request, purchase order also. Now I go and press that somewhere else, not in this text. So system is telling you are over, can we save it and come out, you are about it, because we selected only these views. Okay, I press yes. Now system has saved the material, that is a S0 to CP1001, that the purchasing view and purchase order text have been created. It is saved. This is how we are creating the purchasing view for the material. That is, we extended the purchasing view, purchase order text for the metal where basic views are already there. In purchasing view creation, we discussed the GR processing time, that is the goods received processing time, that is mentioned in working days. So we need to understand what is a working day, how is it different from a calendar day. Let me explain with this example given here. Here we see one calendar with no weekly off or any holiday. This means this particular month is having in total 31 days. That is a calendar days. The second calendar where Saturday and Sunday are declared as weekly off. This means there are 23 working days here. 31 minus 4 and 4, 8. If you remove it, 16, 4 and 4, 8. 31 minus 8, 23 working days are there. See, the first calendar is having 31 days, which is will be fully used by the organization. But as per the second calendar, organization can use only 23 days for working. Okay, that is the difference here. Now we go for third calendar where apart from Saturday and Sunday, 15th and 28th, there are some function or some religious function, whatever it is. They declare them as holidays. This means they have only 21 working days. Okay. So in the first calendar, we have 31 days. Second calendar, we have 23 days. In third, we have 21. So this means first is the 31 calendar days, that is full. Second is this much working days. Third, this much working days. In SAP, there is an option to define the factory calendar considering these weekly off or weekly holidays and also the other regional or religious and national holidays. Working days will be calculated after considering these holidays. To understand the impact of a calendar day and working day in planning and purchasing, let us discuss with some illustrations. Let us take a material which should be available on 20th of the month in this calendar. And let us assume the goods visit processing time for the metal is 3 days. 3 days. As per the first calendar, metal may be received on the 17th morning of the month. Here, all 31 days are working days, which means it's a calendar days. So system will take that 20 minus 3. So 17th, the metal should be received. Right? After receiving on 17th, it will take 3 days for GR processing time. On 20th, metal will be available. That is the meaning. Okay. As per the second calendar, because the GR processing time is defined in working days, right? So system will check what are all the working days. because the 19th and the 18th are not working days. So it will start from 17, 16, 15. So for a metal to be available on 20, metal should be received on 15th. That is as per calendar 2. If I go as per the calendar 3, in addition to the Saturday, Sunday, 15th is also a holiday. This means metal should be received on 14th for it to be available on 20. See now, as per the first calendar, all these things are metal should be available on 20 only. But material should be received on 17th in case of calendar 1. It should be received on 15th as per calendar 2. It should be received on 14th as per calendar 3. See, this is what is the impact of understanding GR processing time. And the planning of these dates have to be very proper. And when you define GR processing time or when you consider for planning, we need to understand them very clearly. In addition to this, goods receipt processing time is internally controllable. By improving internal operations, this can be reduced so that it will help in reducing the overall lead time of materials, which is critical to improve the efficiency and the flexibility in the supply chain. So this has to be focused for any improvement. Few minutes back, we created a purchasing view from the beginning. That is fresh view we created. Now let us see how to copy the purchase view from other material. For this also, the transaction code is MM01 only. So let us see how to do it. So few minutes back, we extended the purchasing view starting from the beginning, right? I mean, fresh purchasing view created. Now let us see how to copy the purchasing view from other material. So which means we are extending the view, and also while extending it, we are copying that particular view from other material, right? So for this also, so what is the T code? We will be using the T code called MM01 only. So here I go to MM01 and then we put the material code SGMC S003 CP101, copy from SGMC TRNG CP101. Relevant material I am selecting it, and the material type I checked it, and also the industry sector also I am checking, all are okay, right? So I am copying from TRNG CP101 to create S013. Because already we created default views, they are coming here: purchasing and purchase order text, basic data 1 and 2. I enter and proceed, and then the plant also already entered, right? So that tier also will come as a default. This is advantage, right, of selecting the views as default views. See, I don't need to select these views here unnecessarily. So these are already there. So I go to the purchasing view. So here it is telling the plant, right, which plant I have to enter, that is coming as default, and also which plant I have to copy. I have to copy from 1710. That also you can make it as default. So I make them as a default. From where I am copying from? Initially I gave from which material. Now from which organization I copy from? Both I can give as a default. So I give them as a default and then I proceed. See, now it is gone to purchasing view, and the description you see it is coming from the basic view of this S03 only, and also it is telling the metal already exists, can it be extended. It is given the message, right? So the basic data view description is there, cover 1 S003, and also the other details like basic unit of measure and metal group relevant to the metal are already there, right? So these are all the from basic view of this S003. But at the same time, if you see the order unit, purchasing group, metal status, those things are copied from S01. So you have to be careful when you are seeing them. Okay. So because sometimes you may need to change the either purchasing group or metal status, those things you have to be carefully see them. Right. These are coming from the other material. So we need to understand which are all the material coming from the basic view of this same material, which are all coming from other copied material. So here the purchase value key, it was from that S001. So here we see, and all GR process item that is also copied. But here I don't want to put 1, but I want to put 2 for this specific metal. This is how now we have to, when you're copying it, what is you have to change, right? So I enter them. Also purchasing a value key also here I put as 4 here. Okay. So I just enter. Again, system is telling check the value, the purchasing value key you entered. Always when you are entering purchase value key, system will say enter, because this is having many parameters. So system will be always asking, please check it, like a reminder days, tolerances, many details are there. Then it is just a warning message. You just press enter and proceed. Once we press enter, system will take us to the purchase order text. As we saw earlier, this purchase order text, this was maintained already in CP101 TRNG. So that is already coming here. If you want to change according to the S03 CP101, we have to change them and save them here. That we can do it. Okay. So here we got the materials here, like I am changing it according to this material S003, and then what is the CP101, those details I'm updating, so that here it is specific to this particular material S03 CP101, right? So now when I press enter, system is asking you are about to exist because only these two views, right? Okay, right. I am okay with all the parameters. I press enter. So what is happening now? Material S003 CP101 is created, copied from TRNG CP101. The copy from and all will not reflect here. It will show the material is being extended, but for your understanding, I told it is copied from. So we know how to copy the view from other material while extending also. Now we will see how we have to create a material, all the views, for example, I want to create. So I want to create a material SGNC hyphen S004 hyphen CP101. This is the material I want to create. Okay, now when I am creating it, which means that whenever overall, having this dedicated server like that, you can also keep that the training material as a reference. So I put a /o here, okay, /o mm03, okay. So here I am displaying the material. What is that? trng hyphen sorry trng hyphen cp101. Okay, see here also these default views are coming. So I keep these views, in the plant 1710, these metals are there. So I want to create this metal. I told you, right? You have to create exactly the same way you have to create. So I am keeping this as a reference. So similarly, you can also keep this as a reference for you. So this is available as one screen. So I go to the here. So I am going to create this new material. Again, I am going to have the reference of CP101. What the other view I opened here, no, this is also CP101 because I have to compare the same material. Okay. So this is for the participant S004. So for you, I am going to create basic view and purchasing views. So I'm entering the material codes here, press here. So here already whatever we selected already as default is there appearing, basic data 1, 2, purchasing, purchase text, etc. Enter. The plant also already made as default, that is also appearing. Now see the code is coming. I have to enter what is the description. So I want to have some description which is similar to here. I can refer here. It is cover 1 trng1. So what you can do, you can also put here cover 1 S004. Okay. So the the unit of measurement is PC, that is pieces. So what is the metal group? I can find out here metal group, putting F4. So this is L001. Like that also I can select, right? And if I have doubt, then I can go to this page and refer. Here also the L01 only. So what is the next data I have to fill? Gross weight, net weight. These are 20 kg and 14 kgs. So I go here and then I fill here 20 kgs and then I put 14 kgs and unit of measurement I have to put kgs. Okay, all these data filled. And of course there are some, we remember, no, we filled some additional details. What are the additional details? Descriptions and then unit of measure, and then we filled the basic text also. So we will also create those things here. So these things are, like options what you can fill it. Okay, for example here English is cover 1, French let us say. So I copy this, okay, French. Okay, I go and put it here. This is only for practice purpose. We are not going to use the French language and all here. So just for practice purpose. So here I go and select this F4. Language is what? French. Okay, here I select French. What is the description? I can find out by some translation or whatever the organization you are working, they will have it as 0 to 4 same thing. Okay. So here, right, then I go to unit of measure and here for one carton, right, one carton, I am going to give 12 pieces, for example. Okay. So this is unit of measure. So showing in one carton we can keep 12 pieces. For example, when I buy, I may buy as a carton. So in one carton, how many pieces will be there? 12 pieces will be there. And then basic data text. Okay, here if I want to type something new I can type, or if I want to type something already here, right, for example basic data text here, I want to type something here similar, right, I can copy and paste here, or you can do
we discussed earlier, right? Copy from other material just before. If you do that, all these text will come automatically. Now I'm creating them fresh. That is why they are not coming. Okay. Now I completed all the additional details. I go back to main data. Okay. I completed basic one. Then come to basic two. Normally basic two, we are not going to put anything. I'm going to purchasing. So in purchasing, you see what I filled in the basic data, they're coming automatically, like a description, unit of measure, and the material group. They are coming automatically. But what are the details specific to this material? They are not coming automatically, right? Because I'm creating them fresh. For this material, what was that basic? They are coming default. What is to be created? We have to put. These are plant specific. For example, purchasing group, I want to put 001. Okay. Whatever you filled already, if you put the field there and press enter, right? For example, I want to see that what was the metal. I can 4 and find out by F4. I can select, or I can just keep the cursor here. System will show what are all the details which are already we entered, right? That is coming. Also, I am selecting automatic PO here. Here, my purchase value key is 1. I select. If I have doubt, always I can go and see here. Okay. I go to the main data. I go to the purchasing view. I can always check here. Okay. Here, GR processing time is 1 day. So I explained you what is the impact of GR processing time, that you have to be very careful. All these post to inspection other things we'll discuss later. Okay. I mean, we'll use them later for the practice purpose. Then I go to the purchase order text. Here again, system is telling check the data for purchasing value. It is a warning message only. I just put press enter. I go there. So here I can enter the details I need. Again, for this also, I can refer this, or if I want to type something new, I can type that also. For simplification purpose, I copy from here. Okay. This is what now, if you want to create new, you have to do all these things by this. But if you are put copy from, all these details would have come automatically. Okay. Now I enter all this. Now if I keep enter by keeping the cursor here itself now, it will keep on creating the space here. So if I want to proceed further means I have to click here somewhere, I mean somewhere here. Okay, click here, enter. Then system will say whatever job you are supposed to take, it is done. For example, we selected only basic data 1, basic data 2, purchasing and purchase order text. With that completed, you are about to exit. Can you exit? Yes, we'll do it. So what system is telling? You are having HGMC S04 CP101 created. If I double click here, I can get the message here explanation. This is created, right? This is how we create the fresh all the views. Okay.
Now let us see how to change a parameter in Metal Master and how to monitor the changes done in a particular material. To change a Metal Master parameter, transaction is MM02. So I go there, I go into this material CP1006, right? TR and G. See, you please play with your material. Don't touch these materials. Okay. Select all the views and also the plant. So I go into the screen. So I have basic data details. I don't want to touch anything here. And then I go to basic data 2. We have not maintained anything. I'm going to the purchasing view. Here, I just want to change the GR processing time. For example, from 1 to 2. All right. And then this is the data I changed. So with this, I want to update this. So I go and press save. This means this metal master change is saved. Okay. Now I got the metal master changed. So now like this, I can change any parameter in the metal master. But I want to see again after changing it, I'm going and seeing that. Okay. Go there. See all the views already selected because they're coming default. See the advantage. Now I go to the information here. See here I can see when it was created, when it was changed. See here when it was created date is there, when it was changed date is there. Like this, these details are there. And apart from this, I go to environment, go to the display changes. Okay, display changes. So by clicking this, system will list out what when it was created, when it was changed, those kind of details will be coming here. See there. So here it is showing through transaction MM02 on 7th February at that time some change is done. So I select the particular line and I press the display icon. That is the display icon. Okay, choose. So now it is showing the goods receipt processing time old value was 1, new value is 2, like that is showing. So like this we can see the changes. That is through Metal Master we saw this. Okay, so now I am seeing the second item. So what is the second item change I did? I changed the purchasing order group, purchasing group, that is 001 to 002. That is one change I did. Okay, so now apart from this, I can also see these details through a transaction. What is that? MM04. Whatever we saw were through Metal Master. Now I am seeing it with the transaction itself, MM04. Enter the material, plant, and then execute. So now the system is giving the same page, right? We are coming to the same page. Here I can select which line I want to see. According to that, I can select it and see what changes have been done. This is how we do the change and also how to monitor the changes in the material. Okay. See, whenever we enter any details in the system, either it is metal master or description, whatever parameter, so either those letters have to be replaced or they have to be inserted. For example, I enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In between, instead of 3, I want to put some 7. So whether the 3 has to be replaced or the 7 has to be inserted. That is the difference between insert and replace. How to do this in system, right? What are the settings we need to do? Everyone must check these settings so that we can do it. Let us example, I go to the MM02. Here I am putting on one code. This is a CP1003. Here I want to change this TRNG to some other number. For example, yes, something like that I want to change. When I change it, now see what is happening. I put no S003, it is replacing it. What was there? That was replacing. It is not inserting, right? So because of this, again, I have to type, some issues may be there. How to address it? So now what I do, I go to the right bottom of the screen, right? I go to the right bottom of the screen, see here, OVR. OVR means now this is in the over. Now I pressed it, now it has become the replace. Okay, insert, sorry, it has become insert now. Overwrite or insert, like that is come. Now after putting the insert, I am able to insert the letters, right? This is what the settings you need to do. Either I want to insert or I want to overwrite, right? That is what we have to use these settings. These settings, everyone please check it, because sometimes you may face the problem why it is overwriting, why it is inserting those things. This right corner what I showed, if you press it, you can get the answer there. Okay. So in this session, we discussed various parameters in the purchasing view like order unit, purchasing group, plant specific status, automatic PO, purchase value key, post inspection stock. And please take note, all these parameters should be understood by planners so they can use these parameters while planning or doing some analysis. Similarly, buyers should use the maximum from these parameters like automatic purchase order or purchase value key to perform the day-to-day activities effectively. Just to refresh our knowledge of this session, let us have some quiz questions. So what is the transaction code to create Metal Master? What is the transaction code to extend a Metal Master from one plant to another plant? What is the transaction code to create extend one missing view of Metal Master? Can we create a new metal copying from another material? What is the order unit in the purchasing view? What is the use of plant specific metal status? What are the features available in purchase value key? How automatic PO can be used? GR processing time, is it defined in working days or calendar days? See, I explained to you with the examples. What is the impact of post to inspection stock? And can we give unlimited tolerance to material receipts? So we'll discuss the answers in the next session. So the assignment for this session is, please create the purchasing views. So some purchasing view create fresh, some purchasing view extend, or some purchasing views you can copy from other material also. You may use different methods what we discussed here so that you get more practice. But please create completing all purchasing views for our business case what I shared with you. After understanding and creating the purchase view metal master, next we need to work on the MRP views. Before that, we should understand the concepts of MRP. So we'll discuss the MRP concepts in the next session. And before the next session, create the purchasing view and complete them for all the materials related to business case. What are the clarifications you need? Please put them in the comment section of this session. I will be answering them then and there. Meanwhile, if you would like to hire the dedicated server to practice along with me, contact me at the following WhatsApp contact or email address. And please suggest your friends and colleagues to subscribe to our channel so they also get the benefit of these knowledge sharing sessions. Thank you. See you in the next session. Take care. Bye.